A community is remembering a young boy killed in a crash this weekend. We hear from some of his teachers and his mother. A Tennessee man is facing charges after police make a grisly discovery inside his car following a traffic stop. And severe weather battered parts of the region yesterday. We'll take you to some of the hardest hit areas.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:59 on Tuesday, June the 18th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. It's a soggy start, much like yesterday. It's a little bit more humid than it was, and it's just going to be a mucky Tuesday. Let's bring Brandon in for a look at exactly what to expect. And Brandon, some people are seeing thunderstorms this morning.
Exactly, and we're going to continue to track those for you as we head through the first part of your day, and then more chances for those will be going on throughout the day. But the good news is we've been removed from that risk, that marginal risk, so maybe it's just a couple of stronger thunderstorms, garden varieties I like to call them. Let's take a look at what's going on live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning as we go through the 6 o'clock hour. Charleston, West Virginia getting pretty soaked right now, but a lot of scattered activity across our area going into Rockcastle County out of Pulaski, into McCreary from Wayne, and over into parts of the border counties there with Kentucky and Virginia. Buffalo Mountain pretty quiet this morning here in Perry County where our transmitter is. You can see cloudy skies there in the distance and some fog as well. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, close to 70 in a couple of areas there, including London and Jacksboro. We are looking at the weather app forecast. You can download that for free in all the app stores. Helps you keep track of the rain and get warnings as they're issued. And you see there's chances for thunderstorms off and on throughout the day with temperatures in the upper 70s. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, a 12-year-old boy was killed when a vehicle hit his dirt bike. It happened Saturday night on Kentucky 979 in the T-Berry community of Floyd County. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked with some of his teachers who say the next school year will not be the same without him.
Starting a new school can be tough.
He was happy, but he was also shy and quiet.
Renee Gabbard is a teacher at J.M. Stumbo Elementary School.
Actually, I had the pleasure of being one of his teachers.
But 7th grade student Dylan Mullins took it in strides while making new friends with his classmates and teachers.
So he taught me a few things as well as me teaching him some things.
But now there is an empty seat where Dylan should be learning.
It broke my heart. I mean, I couldn't believe it, honestly. It was just like, I'm going to probably cry here.
12-year-old Dylan was killed while riding his dirt bike Saturday night on Kentucky 979 in Floyd County.
I mean, I don't have kids, so all these school kids are my babies.
A crash that is shaking the entire community.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Have a good day.
It's heartbreaking. You know, I've got 2 kids of my own, and I can't imagine what the family's going through.
Will Watts is another teacher who helped Dylan.
The students become a part of everybody's lives, the teachers, the other students. It's, you know, we're a very close-knit school anyway.
And while this blue-eyed preteen may never walk through these doors again,
It's just not going to be the same without him. I mean, he had the most beautiful blue eyes.
his memory will forever fill their hearts.
And the little grin. I mean, that's my memory of Dylan.
In Floyd County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Regret, that is what Dylan's mother, Shauna, says she is feeling right now. Andrew Colgrove sat down with her yesterday. She says she hopes sharing that regret will prevent other parents from experiencing the same grief.
It's just unreal. It's just still like I'm in a bad dream.
A mother is mourning the loss of her 12-year-old son, who was killed right in front of their home.
He was all that I had. He was my baby.
Shauna Mullins says Saturday night around 8:30, her son Dylan was coming home on his dirt bike from a friend's house. She says he was turning left here on Route 979 into his driveway when he was hit by a truck coming from the opposite direction.
I went running outside and he was laying in the road. I knew, you know, when the second that I seen him there, that he was gone.
She says Dylan loved the outdoors and had already started earning his own money mowing neighbors' lawns.
He was my baby, and I don't know what I'm going to do now.
She says cars go way too fast on this road, especially on the straight stretch in front of her house.
If you see a child or, you know, anybody on a dirt bike, a four-wheeler, anything, please slow down.
Dylan's mother says she got him that motorbike as an early birthday gift in April. Since the accident, she says she's been having regrets about getting that bike to begin with, and even more about letting him use it on a road like this.
It turned out that I actually bought him something, you know, that costed him his life. And I just want everybody, you know, kids don't need to be on them, and especially not on these roads. And I just wish I could go back and change it.
Dylan was her youngest child. It's a loss she can't imagine how she'll ever learn to cope with. Andrew Colgrove, WSAZ News Channel 3, Floyd County.
Now, visitation for 12-year-old Dylan Mullins will be at the River of Life Free Will Baptist Church in Grethel today and tomorrow at 2. His funeral is Thursday at 1, also at the church. In other news this morning, an Indiana man accused of catfishing a woman in Alaska was indicted by a grand jury for murder after convincing her he would pay millions for her to murder someone and send him photos. 21-year-old Darren Schillmiller was arrested on these and other charges. The Alaska Department of Law says Schillmiller convinced the 18-year-old Denali Bramer, the woman he was having a relationship with online, to murder her friend Cynthia Hoffman. Court records say she then enlisted 4 friends, telling them they would get a large cut of the money for their parts in the murder. He and the other defendants are set to appear in court later today. A Knoxville man is facing charges after part of a body was found in his car during a traffic stop early Sunday morning. 29-year-old Doree Johnson is charged with vehicular homicide, evading arrest, and driving while license revoked. An officer stopped Johnson's vehicle for failing to maintain his lane. As the officer walked toward the vehicle, Johnson took off, crashed the car, and tried to run away. Once he was in custody, the officer found the torso in the passenger side floorboard. Officers believe the victim was a pedestrian who was hit and killed by Johnson before the traffic stop. Well, switching gears now to weather. High water caused problems in Clay County Monday, getting inside the county's only homeless shelter. Warm Souls for Worn Souls opened not too long ago in Manchester. More than 3 inches of water got into the floors. 6 people were staying there at the time and had to move to the Heritage Inn. The shelter's director says it happened fast.
Of course, it rained quite hard last night, and about 2:45, I got a phone call from Brian, who's the night guy who stays here, and he said, you know, we got water running through the back door, out the front door. And I said, well, how deep is it? He said, probably about 4 or 5 inches.
Bolin says he hopes to have everything cleaned up today so people can move back in. Well, Sunday night's heavy rain led to a deadly accident in Spencer County. A family of 4 tried to cross over a flooded bridge but were swept away by high water. Crews found George Lewis Cantu dead early Monday morning. His wife and son were swept downstream and were found holding on to trees. The 4th passenger, Cantu's daughter, was able to get out and find help. Officials say the family was leaving a Father's Day party. Meanwhile,
As far as luck, I don't call it luck. I call it the grace of God. That's why I call it.
Crews rushed to save a 90-year-old woman from her Powell County home on Monday. A mudslide pushed the home off its foundation. The road is still closed this morning. Geological surveyors say the land is still shifting. More than 50 people worked to free the woman. She is doing all right and is in good spirits. Well, strong storms in Pulaski County Monday blew a tree into a mobile home, trapping a man inside. It happened at a home on Kentucky 790 in the Braunston community. Adam Berniston tells us why first responders had to take some extra precautions.
It was just after 2 o'clock Monday morning that the Braunston Fire Department got dispatched for a possible entrapment on Kentucky 790 after strong storms blew in and knocked a tree right on top of a mobile home with a man inside. Once fire crews arrived on scene, Fire Chief David Gross says they worked to get to the man inside while making sure the property was safe.
We turned the electric off, keep it from catching fire, because it was still raining this morning when we got here.
Now, because the tree completely blocked off the front entrance to the home, firefighters had to make their way to the back of the house through down limbs to find another way to get the man inside out safely.
Found a way in through the back door. And the homeowner was still inside, but he wasn't trapped. He was sitting in a chair when I got into him.
And while the man got out of the mobile home safely, he is unable to return as the tree caused too much damage.
He is okay. Just trying to find relatives to stay with till they can clean the mess up, but the mobile home is a total loss.
In Pulaski County, meteorologist Adam Burniston.
Now, Chief Gross says this was the only damage report they responded to from yesterday's storms. Well, to help you keep track of the rain and the forecast, go on and download the WYMT weather app. It's available in the Apple and Google Play stores. Well, from rain to heat, at least 70 people have died in India since Saturday due to severe heat wave conditions. Local officials have imposed a curfew from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. local time to prevent people from going outdoors. At least 106 people have died across the country so far this year due to exposure to an intense heat wave, which strikes each year between March and July. The latest heat spell, which has lasted for more than 30 consecutive days, is one of the longest in the country's history.
Chances for showers and storms still going this morning. We're taking a look at that on the last 6 hours of the satellite and radar loop, and you can see lots of rain kind of filtering in and out this morning. As we go to live pinpoint Doppler radar, give you a better idea where some of those showers and storms are. Moving through Rockcastle County out of Pulaski County, moving into Whitley County from McCreary County, and moving through parts of Harlan, Letcher, and into Pike counties this morning, also across the border into Virginia. I think I saw one little lone salve down into Claiborne County, Tennessee as well. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s and low 70s across the board this morning across the region. Upper 70s in Myrtle Beach, low 70s in the Big Apple, 70 in St. Louis, and upper 60s in parts of the area. Planner for today, we are looking at temperatures topping out in the upper 70s for us, but chances for showers and storms will be around throughout the day. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Still to come, more on a new study that shows our summers could start getting even hotter in the coming years. And another study shares some new data about the world's population and what could happen to it by the end of the century.